Have you ever wondered why some nations prosper while others struggle with persistent poverty, creating a significant gap in wealth and well-being across our world? The political economy roots of global inequality are deeply embedded in historical processes, power dynamics, and the structures of the international system itself. They are not merely an outcome of individual choices or market forces, but rather a consequence of deliberate policies, institutional arrangements, and the distribution of power that have shaped economic opportunities globally over centuries. This phenomenon largely stems from a complex interplay of colonialism, structural adjustments, and uneven technological development. Colonialism extracted resources and labor from colonized regions, establishing economic dependencies that often persisted long after independence. This created a lasting division where former colonial powers often maintained economic advantages. Furthermore, post-colonial nations were frequently integrated into the global economy on unfavorable terms, often compelled to specialize in primary commodity exports with volatile prices, which limited their industrialization and diversification. International financial institutions sometimes imposed structural adjustment programs that, while aiming for economic stability, often led to reduced social spending and privatizations, disproportionately affecting vulnerable populations and exacerbating existing inequalities within and between countries. Understanding these roots means examining historical trade patterns, the evolution of international institutions, and the impact of technological advancements. For instance, the original design of global trade agreements often favored industrialized nations, allowing them to protect their nascent industries while demanding open markets from developing countries. This asymmetry hindered industrial growth in many parts of the world. Moreover, the uneven spread of technology, particularly in areas like digital infrastructure and advanced manufacturing, creates a growing gap between technologically advanced economies and those that lag behind, concentrating wealth and innovation in a few regions. Key concepts like dependency theory and world systems theory provide valuable frameworks for analyzing these dynamics. Dependency theory, for example, argues that less developed countries are kept in a state of dependence by the economic and political power of developed countries. It highlights how core nations benefit from the periphery's resources and cheap labor, perpetuating a cycle of underdevelopment. Another critical aspect is the role of global financial architecture, where powerful nations often dictate terms that favor their own interests, such as currency valuations or lending conditions, further entrenching existing power imbalances. Ultimately, recognizing these deep-seated political and economic factors helps us move beyond simplistic explanations of global wealth disparities. It underscores that addressing global inequality requires systemic changes, including fair trade practices, reforms in international financial governance, and targeted investments in human capital and infrastructure in developing nations. By understanding the historical and structural drivers, we can work towards more equitable global development paths and foster a world where prosperity is more broadly shared.